Media Day inside the River States Conference. Our focus, the University of Rio Grande men's basketball team. I'm Randy Payton. I'm joined by Rio head coach Ryan Arrowwood as we talk Red Storm basketball. 12-17 a season ago. You fall to IU East in the conference tournament. Didn't end the way you wanted to. And frankly, the whole season, all kinds of different adversity. And just one that you had to work your way through it. And then when it's done, it's done.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to disagree with you for a second. It wasn't all adversity. You know, we actually had the best start we've had since I've been the coach here, right? We're preseason number one, a lot of anticipation. We start 5-0. Our first loss was a 5-point loss at Indiana Wesleyan, one possession game in the last minute. And then we played really, really well versus Point Park. Just, I'm not a made-miss shot coach, but like we lose the game because we just couldn't make shots. But that was a hard-nosed battle, and then, we're up, 13 with like 14 minutes to play versus Cumberland, right? Who's a Sweet 16 team who was undefeated, top 10 team. So we're playing pretty good basketball. And then the wheels fell off, and I didn't handle it well. Our players didn't handle it well. But from the start, it was adversity every day in practice. You could feel it, and we just, for whatever reason, I didn't handle that group well. We didn't have the right pieces together. We didn't complement each other. Guys didn't enjoy the game, and it was a tough year. And I've never been a part of a year like that, so it was difficult. And because of that, in today's landscape of college basketball, there are a lot of new faces on this roster.
And we will get to that in just a second. You're fifth in the preseason poll, and we'll hear from the players in a little bit, and I'm going to ask them the same question. Is that a fair assessment of this team?
I'll say this. St. Mary's of the Woods was picked 13th last year and finished first. So, we were picked first and we finished 8th, right? So I think that talks about the balance of the league and just how good this league is. And there's just so much high turnover in our league. We've only got one conference game prior to January. So our league is going to be completely different. If you looked at Shawnee State prior to January 1st and Shawnee State after January 1st, well, there's a big difference, right? This is my 5th year. In the previous 4 years, the player of the year has also been the newcomer of the year. The only person who wasn't was Shiloh Blevins, right? So it's a lot of transferred pieces, new roster makeup. So preseason, I got a little bit surprised we were picked 5th. With as much turnover as we had and as much uncertainty with our roster, but you can't put much stock in it.
You had 2 second-team guys last year in Trey Robertson, Trent Hundley. Hundley has gone on to Division I. Trey's back, and I see him every day, and I think, man, he's one of the older guys on this team now. Talk about the guys that you do have back, and you mentioned you got a boatload of newcomers.
Yeah, so as far as our returners, Trey Robertson, second-team All-Conference last year, preseason first-team All-Conference this year. He was a top vote getter for the second-team All-Conference last year. I think if we had a better record, he's a first-team All-League type of guy, right? So if we play the way I think we're supposed to play, I think he's going to be up for Player of the Year in our league. Emotional maturity. He is the most emotionally mature, emotionally competitive player that I've coached since I've been at the University of Rio Grande. He is just a winner through and through, and he wants to be a leader. Sometimes the team picks a leader and that person's not ready to lead.
Right.
Trey Robertson's our leader, and he wants to lead. So if your point guard's your leader and your most, and your best player, you got a chance to be pretty daggone good.
It's a good start to a recipe for success.
If the coach doesn't mess it up, we got a chance, right? And then you got Ethan House. He's a fourth-year guy here in our program, which is extremely rare in men's college basketball today.
At any level.
Right, So 17 starts for us last year. Had a really good offseason. His body is in the best shape it's been. He's a lot more mature. He's taking care of himself on and off the court a lot better. So big things were expected out of him. And then you start to look of guys who've gotten playing time. Will Hill was supposed to have a bit, but tore his ACL in February. Yep. Best case scenario, we're going to have him back in January. It's probably 50-50 whether or not he's going to redshirt. And then the next guy with the most playing time is Aiden Porter, who has played in, I think, 12 college basketball games. But now AP is the player we thought we were getting. He took a different road to get here, but he's a sophomore for us, and boy, he's playing at a pretty high level, Randy. So we got some good returners. Kyan Irvin, second year in our program, first year, redshirted all last year, came off an ACL. We're excited about him. But then we've got a lot of newcomers who are going to be counted on for a lot of playing time.
All right, school me on him, because we're going to hear from one later in Eric Butler, but he's not by any stretch the only new guy here.
No, we've only got one traditional freshman, and he's got a familiar name to the University of Rio Grande, and that's Branson Copus, right? Dad was a first-team All-American, and
he could play a little bit.
Man, Branson, Nathan's pretty good. I spoke to somebody we're scrimmaging about our roster, and I mentioned his name. He was like, "Boy, they had a guy back in the day named Nathan that could really go." I was like, "Well, that's his son." So, we're pumped about Branson, all-time leading scorer in North Adams history. He's a winner. He's a competitor, and we are really, really excited. We've had a lot of success with kind of southeastern Ohio players who want to be here at Rio. I think he's the next one in line with that. And we got a slew of transfers, so I'm going to just hit them here quick, right? Eric Butler, 6'3" guard, D2 transfer, close to 60 starts at the Division II level. Started his career at Division I Southern Illinois. I'm sure he'll say he's good at a lot of the little things. I think most coaches know those little things are gigantic things. He impacts winning at a ridiculously high level. Jalen Johnson, another D2 transfer, over 40 starts at the Division II level. Glenville State transfer. I think he has a chance to probably be one of, if not the best two-way players in our league. He's 6'5", he's strong, he can shoot it, he can defend, he can get to the rim, athletic. We're really, really excited about him. Great fit for our culture. Milan Square, sixth-year senior, redshirted, COVID year, and then had 3 other years at Walsh. Went to 3 national tournaments at Walsh. Has 57 starts at the Division II level. 6'6", smart, skilled, shoots it, and he is desperate. He is desperate. This is his last year of college basketball. Wanted a little bit bigger role. Great fit for us. Then we'll talk about a couple junior college transfers. Kalen Lasisi, we call him Key. That'll be the easiest thing for you is to call him Key. Only about 6'5", but boy, he plays a lot bigger than his height. Great athlete, extremely high motor, very athletic, and just does everything you want a player to do. Doesn't really have an ego. Really good rim protector, lob threat, and has the versatility to switch and guard and do some different things defensively. Jalen Fox, one of the best athletes we've had since I've been here. 6'5", they'll do it all wing out of Kalamazoo City Community College in Michigan. Started 2 years there. So we have a lot of college basketball experience. He was I think second team all defense region, first team all conference. So comes in with a lot of experience and a lot of talent. I think I hit everybody right there as far as our 10 deep roster. But again, a lot of new faces.
Sounds to me like you might not be the biggest team in the world, but that this team may provide you with a little more versatility than maybe previous rosters have.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a catch-22. We don't have that overall size, but we have pretty good positional length. Right, Eric Butler is 6'3", but he plays bigger than 6'3". Jalen Johnson, 6'5", plays bigger than that. Milan Square, 6'6". Key's only 6'5", but he plays bigger. Jalen Fox, 6'5", long, plays longer, right? Ethan House, I think we saw him last year, right? But we've had success with guys. Taylor Mack was only 6'2". Boy, he played like he was 6'7", right? So, I've just made the decision, right? We're not going to recruit, we're going to recruit intangibles more than we are measurable attributes. We just had more success that way. Trey Robertson's only 5'9", but if he was 6 foot, he wouldn't be here. Right? so Trent Hundley was great, right? Trent Hundley was 6'7", skilled, could do it all. Well, guess what happens in today's? He's at Evansville, right? And we're happy for him, right? So we just tried to find the best players we could that we think want to be part of our culture, and we went after it.
How's this new makeup of guys on the roster? How's it affect your style of play?
You've got to adjust to your talent, right? And our talent is this team wants to play faster. This team wants to go. Well, that bodes well for me, right? Because I'm a defense and rebounding minded coach, right? We're going to defend, we're going to rebound, we're not going to have a lot of live ball turnovers, right?
Right.
That doesn't change. That is part of our fabric. So if this team will buy into defending and rebounding, then we want to play fast. And every coach in the country wants to play faster now. The game will slow down come January,
Right.
but it's not January, right? It's October and going into November. And right now we want to play faster. This team shares the ball. To have so many new pieces, the ball movement is just instinctively great. And I think that comes with, all those new guys I said, all of them got close to 40 or 60 starts and at the college basketball level, right?
Right.
They're not freshmen. They understand college basketball, so the ball movement's been really, really good. I think a lot of that has to do with Trey Robertson. You come in and the guy that's kind of the head of the snake, so to speak, is as unselfish as he is. I think that kind of lends well to the rest of the team following suit.
Last thing for you, kind of talk about the conference. A little bit of a different look this year. No Point Park, no Ohio Christian, but still some quality ball clubs.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this time here to get on my soapbox like I always do. I don't know what else we're supposed to do as a league. You're probably going to say that the league is slept on or it's underrated, but it shouldn't be anymore, right?
Right.
And what we get told is, you got to make a Final Four, you got to make an Elite Eight. Well, quit putting our best teams as an 8 or a 9 seed. Quit it,
Yep,
right?
I agree.
Right? So when you have to play a number 1 seed on their home floor, it ain't like we're getting wore out. We're up with 7 minutes versus William Penn. Kokomo beat William Penn, right? Point Park had the national champion on the ropes, right? So I don't want to hear that, well, you got to get to Kansas City. Get us better than an 8 seed. Our best teams deserve that. Plus, Shawnee State's one of the teams that won a national championship in the last 5 years, right? So our league shouldn't be slept on anymore. So that needs to change a little bit. Our league is really, really good. St. Mary's of the Woods is going to be really good because that's what Jesse's going to do. He's going to have a great team. They're going to be talented. Shawnee State's going to have a great team. They're going to be talented. IU Kokomo, they're really good, and they are IU Kokomo, right? But the depth in our league is just so good, right? You can take us, West Virginia Tech, IU East, Southeast, right? Throw them all in a blender and figure out, somebody's going to finish 8-9. Somebody could finish 1-2, right? So that's kind of what it is. The depth of our league is just so good. The bottom of our league is great. Now we do welcome in IU Columbus that we have no idea what they're going to tell.
Right.
But the rest of that league, it's I think Ohio Christian was a testament to that last year, right? It doesn't matter who's playing who. Shawnee was second in our league or third in our league last year. We take them to double over. So our league's just really, really competitive. It's really good. And we're going to have to watch a lot of film because there's a lot of new faces in it. But it's a great league. The different styles is fantastic. We're really excited to be part of it, and hopefully we're a 4-5 bid league team. I think we're good enough to do that.
Good luck this year.
Appreciate you, brother.
That's head coach Ryan Arrowwood. You've heard from him. When we come back, we'll hear from a couple of his players. We'll hear from Trey Robertson, and we'll hear from Eric Butler. And we'll do that as Media Day continues in a moment. Back here on University of Rio Grande Men's Basketball Media Day, we're now joined by a couple of the players in Trey Robertson and in Eric Butler. We'll start with Trey. Hard for me to believe. I guess you're kind of the OG on this team now. A guy that a second-team all-conference pick last year, and there are quite a bunch of new faces on this roster this year. And kind of talk about what it's like to be one of the more veteran players, and I guess somebody that the rest of the guys are going to have to look up to for leadership.
Yeah, it's exciting. We lost a lot last year, but brought a lot of new in this year, and just this preseason, it's been fun. We're all meshing together, sharing the ball, and it's been fun, and I look forward to the season.
Kind of give me what your take on this team is. I know you guys were picked 5th in the preseason poll. Is that fair, or are people underestimating you, or how do you look at it?
I don't really think it matters at this point right now. We're completely different than what we were last year. We're going to play completely different. We're scrappy. We're going to get up and down, and no matter what, we're going to play hard. And I think that's really what you want out of a team coming in and having a lot of new faces.
One of the new guys is seated between us, Eric Butler, a senior guard out of Orlando, Florida, D2 transfer from Elizabeth City State. Kind of talk about your first impressions of being here on campus and practicing with these guys and kind of what your expectations are out of the year.
Honestly, I love it here. It's ducked off, so it's really just hoop and school, so, that was a good thing. Team-wise, I love it. Like, this is the happiest I've been. So, playing with these group of guys, everybody has joy, happiness, so, like, we're going to be a really good team. And
a lot of times when somebody comes to a place as small and as rural as Rio Grande, they kind of struggle with it. Yeah. How have you taken to the small town life?
I feel like I made a big step, like, just with everything, basketball-wise, life-wise. These guys taught me a lot just being here for a couple months. So, it's been a big improvement.
What led you to choose Rio Grande? How did you end up a member of the Red Storm?
Just Coach Wood. Coach Wood was very truthful with me. Like, he didn't sugarcoat nothing, and he wants to win, and I want to win, and the team wants to win. So I just want to be around winners. He won before, so.
Trey, you mentioned a few minutes ago about this is going to be a different team this year. In what way?
We might not be the biggest, but we're going to be the fastest. I think we're going to be talented, just as talented as anybody we play, and I think we're going to play a lot harder than what the other team plays. And you can just tell that by practice. In the past 2 years, we've had some practices where there's some people that don't want to be there, and it affects our whole practice. And right now, if you don't want to be there, you stick out, and it's known. So I think we have more people like coming together, and when we decide to play hard, we're pretty good.
Trey's a guy that can distribute the ball, can shoot the three. We know what his commodity is on this team. Eric, what do you bring to the team?
A little bit of everything, the small things like rebounding, pick and roll, just getting everybody involved. So, like, just little things.
You guys have been practicing already, or have you reached the point where you're just about sick of practice and you want to go against somebody else in another uniform?
Of course, yeah.
Last week. Yeah.
Your expectations in the conference. I think anybody that's followed the River State in the past couple of years knows that I think it's a vastly underrated conference when you look at it on a national scale.
Yeah, it is, and it's hard to get a feel in the preseason because, like us, we have so many new faces, and there's going to be a lot of different teams out there that have new faces, and it's hard to tell. And then, you got some teams that get better at the break, and so it's just hard to tell, and, we'll see here soon.
Eric, have you done your homework on the conference? What do you know about the River States, if anything, about them?
Honestly, I really don't know too much, but, my teammates kept me in the loop. Just anybody can win the conference, so I heard it's a good conference, but that's all I really heard. So.
Well, that's a look at the 2024-25 season from a player's perspective as we wrap up University of Rio Grande Men's Basketball Media Day here in the River States Conference.